Hello everybody, Anita, your financial psychologist. So yesterday, our fearless leader, mine messing with in chief, wrote out, or his administration did, wrote out a tax plan. The tax plan is kind of big, right? And so for the moment, I'm only going to take one part of that tax plan and explain it to you in how I see it as a financial psychologist, tax person, accountant, blah, blah, blah. So yes, I'm going to talk about the standard deductions that Trump talked about, his administration talked about yesterday. So now what he did is he basically doubled everything. So now the head of household right now gets $93,000. A single person gets $63,000, and then a married couple gets $12,600. So Trump says that he wants, I don't know what he had for a head of household because I didn't see that on his information, but he wants to double for married single people $12,600, and for married people $24,000. He wants to double that standard deduction. Wow, that sounds like really great because it would lower your taxable income. So here's the forms, some of the forms that actually the standard deduction affects. It probably affects some more forms, but I'm giving you something general. And as I give you this information, I want you to make sure that you talk with your tax expert to make sure how these tax changes will affect your taxes and what you pay or what you receive back from the federal government. Okay, so here are the forms. They're called 1040, which actually has two forms, right? And then it's called the itemized deduction. So let's talk about the 1040 first. The 1040, everybody knows, you know, your name, address, blah, blah, blah on that form. But the second page on line 40 talks about itemized deductions or your standard deduction. So if we have these changes on the standard deduction, and you don't get certain deductions for your itemized. Sometimes your itemized has to be higher than your standard deduction in order for you to file this report. So what's on this report? Let's look at it. Your state and local taxes, which Trump wants to eliminate for you to pay. Your home mortgage. Well, some of you may get to that $1,260 or that $2,400. $2,400. You may get to that, 24,000, I'm sorry. You may get to that. And then you have gifts, charitable contribution, which normally is about, sometimes it's, you know, I have seen them to be up to 20,000. Some of my clients who are really into paying their tithes and so forth to their churches, or giving to their churches, or giving to other organizations, they give plenty of money. So they may get to that 24,000 or that 12,600. Okay, so what else is on here? Unemployment stuff when you go looking for a job. Also, you know what else is on here? It is your retirement. So what you can contribute to your retirement plan goes on this Schedule A. So if you're contributing and you're not contributing, you're contributing maybe $50, $100 a month, that doesn't get you to $12,600, or that doesn't get you to $24,000. So you can't write that, or you can't deduct that off on that Schedule A. So these are all the things that are on that Schedule A that Trump actually that will affect that number. So that's important to know. And again, this is what I want you to do. I really want you to check with your tax expert and make sure. I remember my client that called me yesterday. I hadn't listened to the press conference. I was still on my first cup of coffee, plus maybe a little juice inside, but orange juice, that is. But he was all excited about this deduction, this standard deduction. And so I had to explain to him that I hadn't listened to it, and that I would go and listen to it begrudgingly, and I would call him back. And so once I call him back and I explained to him about what he was actually claiming on his Schedule A, then he was like, "Oh my God, really?" I'm like, "Yes, that's exactly what happens." So here again, I really want you to check with your tax expert, and I want you to make sure that you are getting the right bang for your buck when it comes to paying your taxes or the standard deduction. Now, there's so many other things that was in that tax plan, that rollout of that potential tax plan and how it would affect people, and it would take me a while. So maybe tomorrow I might come up with the estate tax. I might talk about that, or I might even talk about the 3 brackets, or the brackets that he wants to, or the corporate tax that he wants to bring down, and how that would affect. Now, I'm not an economist, so I don't know how it would actually affect the debt, right? So I'm not an economist. I don't pretend to be one, and I really don't want to be one, because that's way, But what I'm trying to do is deal with your mindset when it comes to when you hear stuff like this, right? Hear stuff, and for you to seek out help with your tax person, seek out what's really going on, the critical thinking behind the programs that this administration is rolling out. So anyway, I want to thank you for listening. Anita Johnson, your financial psychologist, and AnitaRJohnson.com, Anita Financial Psychologist at gmail.com. Love you.